Be authentic, be yourself, practice authenticity. I don't know about you, but I hear this constantly. Apparently, in a world full of so much information, being ourselves is how we can truly stand out, get more views, make more money, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I believe it. I just don't think it's that easy. Maybe the people preaching this, it's actually easy for them to snap their fingers and be themselves on camera or with anyone. But for those of us who have constantly, for the past 15, 20 years, listened to a voice in our head that says, don't be yourself, they won't like you, it's not that easy for us. Maybe it's only me, but I feel like it's not. If you have a fear of being yourself, being seen, it's not as easy as just being yourself. It's not as easy as just showing up and speaking up. We actually have to make an effort. We have to make changes, take action, choose to be authentic, and continue to do it again and again and again. And it's terrifying. And it's not easy for us. And I'm happy for the people that can truly be authentic in themselves. I'm jealous. I am. And I want to be like that. I want to fully be myself on these videos, in social interactions. But part of that change comes with the acknowledgement that my old self and the voice in my head has created this personality and coping mechanisms that they think are keeping me safe. By not being myself, by people pleasing or telling people what they want to hear, these are coping mechanisms designed to keep me safe, or at least they think it is. But now it just doesn't work for me anymore. That's not how I'm going to find my people and share my voice and become the person that I want to be. Being authentic will get me there. So if you're anything like me and you really struggle with authenticity and being yourself and speaking your mind, stick with me. I'm going to talk a bit about why it's not so easy for us to be authentic and what we can do to hopefully change this in the future. So first I want to start by saying it's okay if you're not authentic. Most of us aren't. Even if you think that you are, you're probably following social norms and values and expectations that you never even chose. Because that's just how most of us live our life and wander through this world. We've quite literally been indoctrinated by our past experiences, parents, friends, culture, society, to be the people that we are now. It takes a lot of self-work to actually choose who you are and then live that way. It's really hard and it's really uncomfortable, and it's why most people don't. So even the people claiming I'm so authentic, maybe they are. If you've done all that work, then I think it's an amazing life accomplishment, and I hope to get there one day. But it takes a lot of work. But we can do it. We can do it. But all this is just to say, like, we often follow paths and values that aren't really ours. We strive to meet expectations that we never set ourselves. We're living lives that may not even truly feel like they're ours, but we rarely question it or why. So much of our lives are shaped by things we didn't consciously choose. They were just put in our life and in our minds, and we just go with the flow because that's what you do. So maybe it's helpful to not just label yourself as inauthentic or authentic, because you've been very much conditioned to be who you are and live how you are. From the moment we're born, we're taught what to think and what to value and how we can fit in with our family, our friends, our tribe. And as humans, we deeply want to fit in with that tribe. And so much of those inner wounds, myself included, comes from that desperate need to not be cast out of the tribe or just to be accepted by anyone. But then this need to be accepted by anyone turns into a need to be accepted by everyone because we really don't accept or like ourselves. And constantly looking for outside validation of what success looks like or who we should be, how we should look, how we should behave is really toxic and leads to this inauthenticity. And sometimes it's sad when you're finally doing the work to look at yourself and how you've been living, because you really feel like you've been living by these like rules or script that you never chose. And you're like, what the hell? And this can be scary, but it can also be freeing because you realize oh, I really never made any of these choices, so now let's actually make some choices. Let's define what you want to be values in your life, what you want to strive for, and making the decision to leave that past script behind. It's kind of like programming in your mind, like a computer, like ditching that old programming and leveling up. It takes a lot of work and it's scary because most of the rest of the world has that old crappy programming that they're just getting by on. But it feels really good to step up and write your own code. But it's scary and it requires lots of practice again and again and again. Lots of constantly choosing this new script, this new programming. But remember, even when you fall back into old past behaviors and thought patterns, it's easy to just get so down on yourself, feel like you're not making progress, or like you're fake, or you're so inauthentic, or you can't be yourself. But this is so natural. You've been living by these defaults for so long, it's only natural to slip back into it. So that's why the constant work and reminding yourself of who you want to be, what you want to say, how you want to live, what you want to value is so important. You didn't constantly choose this old programming, but just because you're aware of it now doesn't mean you're just going to snap your fingers and it's going to be gone. You have to override it, rewrite it, fix the bugs, if you will, that constantly arise throughout the process. One example in which I've actually been able to live truly authentically and overwrite that programming is in my definition of success. So traditionally, success is definitely get a good job, get a good salary, buy a house, get married, have kids, have a family, like this normal progression of success. And a lot of us nowadays are choosing to do this our own way. And for me and my husband, we are digital nomads. So we prioritize freedom of location and freedom of time above the money, the salary. We don't make a lot of money, but we have the freedom to live wherever we want in the world. We still are able to save enough each month. And my life definitely doesn't look like anyone else's that I know. And in the past, that has been a source of discomfort or self-consciousness. But this is truly living authentically to me. This is what I want. I like valuing my relaxation and alone time. I like living in different places, experiencing different cultures. I like creating my own schedule. I like giving myself time to learn and grow. And if I only prioritized money and a good job, a prestigious job, then I would not be where I am now. And I would not be as happy as I am now. So I'm proud of myself for living authentically in this aspect of my life. Another thing you need to remember is that authenticity is a choice. It's not just this thing that you have or you don't. Sometimes it seems like the people online that are so authentic and quirky in themselves, oh, they just must always be like that. One, you don't even know if that's truly authentically them. That's what you associate to be authentic, but you don't even know. That can be a persona that they put on for views or clicks. You have no idea. So you need to focus on you. Who are you when it's just you or with the people that you're closest to? For me, I have less than a handful of people know my authentic self. My husband, my parents, and my best friend. It's kind of embarrassing to say that out loud. And I hope one day to be able to do these kinds of videos and speak and feel like I would if I was just sitting on the couch with one of them. But it's hard. And remind yourself that it's okay that it's hard. So you need to choose to be authentic and remind yourself, what is authenticity to you? What are you striving for? And make those decisions and choices and practice every day or whenever you have the chance to. So just remember, it doesn't just come naturally. I don't believe it comes naturally to anyone. Being authentic is something that you build by questioning who you are, what you want, and then putting that into practice. It requires a lot of self-awareness to notice when you're not really feeling aligned in certain situations or experiences. And when you're not, it can come with a lot of shame when you reflect or even dwell on these situations that you're embarrassed about. Believe me, I know this very well. But these are chances to reflect and to grow and to be better the next time. Try to think about your triggers or what situations might make you feel a little bit anxious or inauthentic. Maybe next time try to change the environment or change the conversation or change what you're doing, the activity. When you have a conversation that really makes you feel good, have more of those conversations and celebrate that you had that win. And so for me, I'm going home in a couple weeks to visit my family for 2 months. And going home is difficult for me because I've grown so much since I left home like 6 years ago. And I feel like I fall back into the same old Halian patterns when I go back. And that's really hard for me. And I want to be more confident and authentic and show this real side to me. And that requires a lot of practice and bravery in choosing this authentic self. I'll let you know how it goes. I'll check in. And when you're embracing this authentic self, maybe it won't make sense to other people. And you really have to do your best to not let this push you back into that inauthentic side of you. Now, this is much easier said than done. Someone calling you out could be a trigger in and of itself. I know it could be for me. So practicing what you might say in these situations. I think I'll make another video in the future specifically on this. So remember that most people aren't living authentically, not because they can't, but they've never questioned what they've been taught, who they want to be. Maybe they don't even realize that so much of this inauthenticity is from things they never even chose, or living by rules they never wanted for themselves. This isn't something to be ashamed of, and it's absolutely something you can change, but it takes time and practice. Real authenticity comes from self-awareness and choosing every day to be who you are and reminding yourself that that's really cool. You're really cool. It takes a lot of courage to define who you are and what you want and what you like. And this could mean a lot of changes in your life, maybe leaving things or people behind, and that's a whole nother video. It's really hard, but it's okay to not feel like you're authentic all the time. You're not behind, and it's not this skill that everyone else has other than you. But you can get there if you want to. And you can show the world your true self and be that authentic version of you. And you will find people that love that version of you, even if that voice in your head tells me no one ever will. Because mine tells me that too, and it's not true. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you can make some choices that lead you to your more authentic self. I'm doing it too. I'll make more videos like this, and let's cheer each other on in the journey to become more authentic. I think it's really important, and we can absolutely do it. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.